The National Executive Committee of UTAG is grateful to you for coming over for this press conference. This press conference has become necessary to provide you with updates on the UTAG strike action. You may recall that UTAG members in its 15 branches withdrew teaching and related services indefinitely on Monday, 10 January 2022. This strike action hinged on the poor conditions of service of university teachers, negotiations of which commenced in 2018. Although some progress have been made in some aspects, the key areas which go to the core of the conditions of service have seen little or no progress, and it appears there is no end in sight anytime soon, whilst our members continue to wallow in worsening economic conditions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, you may recall that the entry market premium, which was instituted following the implementation of the single spine pay policy, got frozen per government white paper in 2013 for the purpose of conducting of a labor market survey to determine a market premium payable to workers deserving of it. However, this determination has not been made, which has resulted in the erosion of the university teacher's salary. There was the hope that by completing and implementing the 2019 labor market survey report, a review of the interim market premium would have put the university teacher on a relatively good salary stead. Regrettably, the recommendations of the 2019 report, without any accompanying technical report on the implementable market premium, is meaningless to UTAG as it does not address the pertinent issues of improved conditions of service. UTAG therefore embarked on the strike action to press home the demand for the restoration of the interim market premium allowance of university teachers to the 2013 levels of 114% of the basic salary. During this strike action, UTAC held several meetings with the employer and other stakeholders in tertiary education in Ghana. These meetings include University Students Association of Ghana, Vice Chancellors Ghana, Ministry of Education, GRASAG. We held in all three meetings with the Ministry of Education, and also we held meetings with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education. In all these meetings, UTAG was called upon to suspend the strike action and return to the table to negotiate. Ladies and gentlemen, the NEC of UTAG held an emergency meeting on Monday, 21st February 2022 at the University for Professional Studies, Accra, to deliberate on the way forward regarding the withdrawal of teaching and related services on the various campuses of the public universities. Following this, members evaluated the entire strike action with the aim of reaping the full benefit of improving the conditions of service of its members. The NEC of UTAC also considered the impact of our industrial action on our students and appeals that came from student groups like NUCS, USAC, GRASAC, and also the general public, especially parents and respected eminent leaders, including former President J. Kufuor, Chancellor of University of Mines and Technology, Takwa, Sir Sam Juna, Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, and the National Security Minister who came in on behalf of the President, and also the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the meeting, the NEC of UTAG resolved to heed the pleas of the eminent leaders, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education, and other stakeholders to temporarily suspend the strike action up to 4th March 2022 to engage with the employer. For this, we call on the government to take advantage of this window to help improve the salary and general working conditions of the university teacher. We also call on the government to see to the implementation of the several agreements that have been signed in recent times. We call on all members of UTAG also to rally behind leadership and remain calm and resolute at this important phase of our history. In many forums, the employer has agreed with stakeholders that there is the need to improve the conditions of service of the university teachers. Thus, we are cautiously optimistic that the government will do the needful to improve the working conditions of the university teacher. We know that the government has not fulfilled its part of the bargain in many signed agreements in the recent past. However, The involvement of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education and other eminent persons. We expect the government to carry through its promises this time round. We will, however, not hesitate to resume the suspended strike action should government renege on its commitments at the end of the stipulated period of negotiations. Thank you very much. Because to go with what government has said alone wouldn't have been enough for us. But you notice that we also considered the statements, or should I say, the request that came in from the eminent persons, the Parliamentary Select Committee. We also considered our students who also made the appeals and the rest. So these are the things that we used as our considerations. But to say that there's something on the table at this point, as we've said, there's nothing. We are just being cautiously optimistic. Yes, there's been the commitments that have come in from the government side through these eminent persons. So at this point, we are just being optimistic, just being very cautious. But we all know that government oftentimes don't heed to its cries. So if they don't to get things done, then I wouldn't be surprised that we may have to come back and then go over the circle again. At this point, is the NLC that has taken UTAG to court. So from here, we'll be trooping to court. We have a court hearing at 1:30 p.m. So we'll be going to court for the hearing of that case. These are two different issues. One is to negotiate. The other one has to do with whether the legality of a strike or otherwise. So these are two separate matters that we believe we can work on at the same time. We are still seeking that relief in court. As we stated in one of our releases, we are going to continue the court case to its logical conclusion. So on our side, we'll keep fighting the case in court. We believe it's the right thing to do, and we need to be able to bring finality to these things because we believe it's something that labor must get done, and we are getting it done this time around. I believe every leader who is on this side is under pressure, and the pressure is not small. Sometimes even your pastor gets involved. So this is how far the pressure can go. So when it happened at UPSA, quickly the leaders there responded to management to inform them that they are waiting on for NEC to take a decision. So now that NEC has taken a decision, it's easier for us to now see to the various managements. Once the individual branches write to them, then they will have to set a date for students for lectures to begin because students are on campus, and then we'll continue with lectures. It's a process that has just begun. Whatever the outcome is, you will know.
Okay, thank you for coming. You have some